What is going on, people of YouTube? My name happens to be Kurtyoy, and apologies, there is no face cam. You're back to our puppy, which I'm going to name Roosevelt. I'm not going to name him that, just name the first name popped into my head, but welcome to a preview where we have to start preparing for the double game weeks. And one thing I'll get you clear right now, before you click off this video, Everton players are a must. Look at this. They miss game week 35, they get game week 33, 34 and 37 as double game weeks. That is an absolute banker. Take point hits if you must, because if you take a -4 point hit, so Lukaku doesn't score and you get Lukaku in, you're immediately getting your points back. Captain him, you got more. So there's no way about it. Just get Everton players in. It is an absolute must. But reason I'm not using Facecam and I've got our nice little puppy friend up there is because I'm really not feeling too well and I'm using all my energy up just to try and record this video. But we've got to look ahead to the next game week, and we're going to be starting, as we do, 3 players in position, starting off with an Everton player, and it's going to be a theme for this episode, Joel Robles. Now, for some reason, Tim Howard isn't playing. I think that's because he's leaving, and I'm pretty sure Joel Robles is now their first team goalkeeper, which is absolutely great, because he's £4.3 million. You look at their fixtures for this game week, Watford away and Palace away, they could come out with 2 clean sheets from that. Everton's away form has been good. They've only lost 2 times this season in the league away, and that for me is enough to put Joel Robles in my team. I will be taking a points hit to get Robles in for McCarthy, and probably I might get rid of maybe someone like Font, or try and find money to get someone else in also, but definitely worth bringing him in. Robles is definitely a banker. Then we've got a keeper from West Brom? No, Fraser Forster actually is. I'm bantering about. I'll go on Southampton. Fraser Forster. Now he hasn't really done anything good since he got the 6 clean sheets in a row. They've had 6 non-clean sheets in a row after they had the 6 clean sheets in a row, because he's played now 12 games, 6 starting really well and 6 ending really badly. But for me, I'm looking at it and they have a nice and tidy game at home against Newcastle, who I think are down. I think the bottom 3 at the moment will go down. The only other team I can see going down besides Aston Villa and Newcastle are Palace. I cannot see Norwich going down, and if Sunderland are to escape, Palace will be the ones to drop. I've just got that gut feeling Palace haven't got what it takes this season. But definitely worth bringing in Fraser Forster for in goal, because he's got a decent chance of getting a clean sheet playing against Newcastle, but Mitrovic is going to be a problem, and we'll make a lot of saves because I'll fire a lot of shots at him. And you've got to look at the fact he's going to play every game week, so he's a solid keeper, maybe a backup if you've got the money to bring him in there. And lastly, do I have to say this every week? Top of the league, 4.9 million, Kasper Schmeichel, get him in there, plays every week, definitely worth a pick. Moving on to the defenders, we may as well get it done. On to Everton, and we say hello to Mr. Seamus Coleman, who actually picks up bonus points despite losing 1-0, which is a very rare thing to see in Football Manager. In Fantasy Premier League, sorry, Football Manager is not the thing, but like I say, he's got 3 double game weeks coming up, absolute must buy for any FPL players that are still playing. Moving on, we have actually got a Palace player. Now, the reason I've got a Palace player is because they've also got a double game week. And they've also got, well, I haven't got 37, but I have got 33 and 34 as I play Everton and Norwich this week. And again, you look at it, although Everton got a clean sheet, so could Crystal Palace at home to Everton. Be a great chance to get a clean sheet, nick a 1-0 win, and probably propel them away far enough from the relegation zone to survive another season. But Norwich is a definite banker. He will also play in both games. David Delaney, 4.3 million, worth a punt. Moving on to our last player. It's actually a real surprise one, this one. And we've got a Man City defender, which is a bit surprising, but Eliaquim Mangala. Only because Otamendi is 6.5 million somehow, and I don't think anyone should spend that much money on him. Then you've also got Sanya, who might play, but also then you've got Zabaleta, who might play. Then you've got Kolarov and Clichy, don't know who's going to play out of them. So Mangala is the cheapest, best bet, because I don't think the Michaelis will play, and Company isn't due to no, he isn't due to come back yet. So Eliaquim Mangala is definitely a defender you should be picking up this week. As you look at the game, they've got a sweet and nice home game against West Brom, so definitely worth bringing him in. Moving on to midfielders now, we have another Everton player. Like I said, it's going to be a theme. This one's probably, I did debate, Delafeu and Lennon are battling it out. Barry, Cleverley, McCarthy, they're all going to be a bit don't know really what they're going to do. You've also got Mirallas, but then he's so hot and cold, and the others not even worth looking at. So for me, Barkley's safest bet. There's a reason he's got pretty much double the points compared to anyone else. He's had a pretty good season, but has dropped off recently. I think these double game weeks will be a great chance for him to play twice against maybe a weaker opposition and propel them out of the the bit of a perilous zone they're in at the moment, Everton. Move them forward and get Barkley some well-earned points. Moving on now to another midfielder. We have another Man City player. Now, a lot of the same, have to admit, this week, but I like to pick, out there players. Previously, now it's about getting the best players in because you've got, only a few weeks to go. It's about propelling yourself up the rankings as much as you can. And for me, Kevin De Bruyne is definitely one to do that. Coming back from injury, had a fantastic game against Bournemouth. Could have had 1 or 2 goals, 1 or 2 assists. Could have had an absolute flying game back in. Already gone up 0.1 million from when he played the game, which was he was on 0.2, and then he went up to 0.3 because of how well he played. This week he's only got West Brom away at home, then you got Chelsea away, could pick up some points there, and then Newcastle away. Definitely will look to get on the score sheet with that one. 2 away games, I must admit, but Kevin De Bruyne is a fine player, and if anyone's going to do damage against Chelsea and Newcastle away, it'll be him coming back to his full best. And then lastly, we've got the people who are on the opposite end of De Bruyne and co. We've actually got Matt Ritchie, who's the highest, point scoring midfielder and the second highest in the whole team. Matt Ritchie for Bournemouth. He's got a nice little tidy game against Aston Villa away from home. No double game weeks. I just thought I haven't really put Bournemouth players in there, and he's got a good chance of ripping Aston Villa to shreds because they are a weakened team. They are going down. You've got to look at the fact they've got to get their points total. Just say if Newcastle, Sunderland and Norwich don't get any more points for the rest of the season, Aston Villa have to get another 16 points to go up, or to stay up, and that's in 6 games. So they're relegated, pretty much. Let's accept it. Moving on to the strikers now, and of course, who else is going to be up front than Romelu Lukaku? Definitely, had his blips so far this season. He's gone up and down like a yo-yo, or like a roller coaster, I suppose you could say. Started at 8 million, probably best to get him in at 8 million. He's rocketed up to about 9.3 million here, then plummeted down back to 8.7. I think that's when I got him. Whereabouts I got him back in because he's worth 8.8 million now, and now he's up to 9 million. So totally worth bringing him in. And the fact he's got a double game week, away against Watford, away against Crystal Palace, and the next game week is at home against Southampton and away against Liverpool. Those are 4 games which Lukaku could at least get a goal in each, and that you consider he plays over 60 minutes in each game and he scores a goal. That's 4 points for the goal. You got 2 minutes, you got 2 for the plus 60 minutes, so that is easily 6 a game. That's 12. Captain, you got 24. Any bonus points, assists, goals, extra on that, you're looking at, you could be flying. And if you use your triple captain, which I'm very tempted to do against Watford and Palace, who knows what could happen. But people are saving it for Aguero. I can understand that. And you know what? Talking of Aguero, we're going to go on to a good high-scoring striker for Leicester, which is Jamie Vardy. James Vardy really hasn't done well, for Leicester for a good few games now. Played very well for England, scored in both games. But I'm looking at this thinking they're scraping 1-0s. They're just getting by in their fixtures. They've got away again against Sunderland, and now Sunderland are not a very sturdy team, but they're good on the attack. So they'll, it's something that Leicester haven't really faced. Apart from maybe the last time they played against Sunderland and away from home, that means Sunderland can set up shop quite nicely. So it's going to be a very hard game for Leicester. I think people underestimate that a lot, and Jamie Vardy maybe will need to go back to his very best to grab 3 points and another 1-0 for that game. And finally, we've got another striker, and this one is a stab in the dark, I have to admit, because you never know what he's going to get. It's like all big tall strikers in the Premier League; they're just too inconsistent. But it's the man with the look. They've also got very handsome looks, Giroud, Pella, got it all. But Graziano Pella comes in, having had a blinding week against Stoke, blinding week against Liverpool, then poor week against Leicester. Although he did play well, I feel like in the game, the Fantasy 6 that Sky Sports do. Definitely worth checking that out. It's a fantastic app. Rated him the highest out of the all of 4 bonus or best players you could pick from. But this week, home against Newcastle, definitely worth bringing him in because he could get a few goals in that one. No double game weeks to report on, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, well, he's definitely got a chance of bringing in some good points for the end of the season, because I only got Man City and Spurs. The other 4 games are definitely games where you consider getting goals. And that is it for this episode of the preview. So to review, we got Robles, Forster and Schmeichel and the goalies. We've got Coleman, Delaney, Mangala in the defenders. We've got Barkley, De Bruyne, Matt Ritchie in the midfield. And we've got Lukaku, Vardy and Pella up front. Last week, sum total of 12 players, every player managed 6.2, which is all the combined totals that every player got, divided by 12, getting the mean average and all that. And that is insane. Just to think about it, that's a pretty good going for me. But thank you guys for watching nonetheless. If you like this video, then leave a like, and leave it in the comments down below, and subscribe if you feel like I'm worthy. I still do the hand movements, even though I'm so tired. And also the fact that my camera isn't on. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you have a good game week, a good double game week. Play your wild cards safely, and peace.